Whether you're an entrepreneur or an artist of any kind, always prioritize the foundation of your work, the core of what you do. And let me break down what I mean by this so you can apply it to your own life. Let's imagine Star Wars for a moment. Obviously, there is a whole universe to Star Wars as it exists today. And that's wonderful, right? You've got video games, you've got the toys, which is a major component. Of course, you've got theme parks and yada, 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 right? All that stuff. And those are all wonderful things. However, let's go back to the days when, Star Wars wasn't out yet. Imagine if George Lucas was more focused on the toys at that time versus actually sculpting a good movie versus actually then making that good movie, right? You have to know the time and the place at which you're in. Yes, he always had this grand ambition, and people say that was a stroke of genius where he carved out for himself that toys, he would essentially get the profit from because he saw the vision. But he also didn't get ahead of that vision by focusing on the toy line first before the movie had come out. The movie needed to be good in order for all of that to be able to kick in, right? And that was his belief. He believed that his movie would be good. And so that's what I'm talking about, is knowing the foundation, the core of what you're building. That has to work, otherwise the rest of it teeters off. Let me give you another example. A lot of people spend time and effort thinking about, okay, how I'm gonna market something and this and that, and it's like, okay, but what are you marketing, right? Quite literally, there's a project that I know that's meant to be a podcast, and they already have like gift baskets and are talking about going to XYZ convention, and it's like, okay, but you don't even have an episode recorded. You don't even have X, Y, and Z. Like, you don't have that. So maybe start with that and know how to actually make a podcast before we get to all the other ancillary stuff, right? It's putting the pony show ahead of the actual product. And you'd be surprised at how many people do this. And one of my big worries is, as we head into the age of AI, that essentially we're just going to get all these shell companies, and I see it all the time, even just in our current digital age, the amount of companies that, whether it's an ad agency, whether it's a, whatever it may be, they promise all these things, that they can do, and it's like, none of that actually exists. They just have this flashy website, it's all the tricks and so forth to get you hooked, but there's nothing behind the curtain, right? And I don't know, I'm someone who values authenticity, right? That's a big component to what I truly value. And also, as someone, I guess, within the entertainment industry, I can suss out the bullshit. And, unfortunately, not everyone can, and it costs time and money to a lot of people and stuff like that. And then by some sort of perverse cyclical nature to it, monkey see, monkey do, where they're like, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to be done, so let me go and do that. And it's like, no. Please, you can sort of see it on Shark Tank when the sharks give advice to people. You got to focus on what you got at the moment, right? And listen, don't take it as that I'm ever stifling anyone's dream, right? When I talked about Star Wars, it's not that it wasn't there for the taking, but you got to know the time and the place that you're at. Oftentimes when I coach various people that I work with, they have these grand ambitions and stuff like that, and I always pinpoint them. Okay, well, just start with one. And I'm not telling you can't do those things, just not right now. Maybe it'll come a year from now. Maybe it'll come 5 years from now. But that's fine. Maybe it'll be 10 years. I don't know. The trajectory will be the trajectory, but you got to start with at least one thing. Otherwise, if you're going to try to go after everything, it's all going to dwindle, and none of it's going to be good and matter, and you're going to fail. Whereas if you just kind of take it one step at a time, then you can do all those things, and they will be as big as you envision them to be, right? At least it has the potential to. So that's the ideology, that's the methodology under which, I approach a lot of this stuff. So always have an eye out for the core of what you're building, the foundation, prioritize that, and don't overwhelm yourself by the glitz and glamour of the other stuff, right? Yeah, that's my advice to you. I hope it helps.